Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Black Lake Settlers. So, just a recap of my goals. Last episode, we assigned Cece to Jarrett's bed, and we discovered that we organ harvested 4 eyes, about as much as we could. And we also planted a lot of smoke leaf. So I think all those goals can be checked off the list. I will be working on some of the outdated long-term goals that I have dearly neglected this episode. So let's get back to our beautiful game here. Now, one thing I wanted to showcase before I go over the tips is I installed the numbers mod, which at a glance will allow me to very quickly figure out what I have assigned, what I'm doing wrong, etc. So looking at this, for instance, I have renamed every single one of my colonists off screen because I didn't want you to suffer through that. All of their relevant titles. So all the night owls are called night owls. The ascetic is called an ascetic. The addicts are called addicts, and so on and so forth. And that way, I can very quickly assign things properly. So I can see that the NPM is assigned to the ascetic, so on and so forth. This mod also comes with a lot of different views, like a medical preset or a combat preset, so I can figure out who the highest melee DPS is, Leth and Jarrett, or work tabs, so on and so forth. I don't want to showcase this mod necessarily, but I did want to set up a default view for myself so that at a very quick glance I can see, oh, I have 2 people set to meds, which they shouldn't. Oh, I have some people set to drugs, which they shouldn't, so on and so forth. This mod has been suggested a great many times, and I said that I would add it once I hit a critical mass of people. And I think that critical mass number has occurred. So that's pretty much why I installed it. This episode, I'm hoping to recruit a bunch of the prisoners. And also I would like to head to Village on the Gorge to possibly do some trading. Alright, so for tips, Oblivion was pretty much the only one. Well, there was a lot of people that mentioned this, but Oblivion was the one I'm going to credit with, mentioning that my colony was getting a bit too hot. So what I'm going to do here is see if I can't, how much bang for my buck of cooling down I can do with just a few things of AC. So I will install, that wasn't AC, that was heat. I'll install AC in both of the founders' bedrooms, and then let's do it right on the sandstone wall so we can hide the fact that it's wrong. And then also in the prison. And I'm going to treat the airlock door like a chimney as well. And that should help keep people cooler. The workshop here is stupidly hot, as you all might be able to see. So we'll do the same down here. Let's see. I'll put it right in the middle. That all should work. So one thing I would like to start working on is draining this marshy swampland to be able to be usable terrain. I do want to add some additional hydroponics, and that is one of my short-term goals, so I'll be working on that as well. Looking at the map, I've pretty much hunted everything there is to hunt, so that's good. I think, Trek and Tosh, I'm going to hijack you, buddy, and have you start working on this AC. Sleeping in the heat is a mood boost, or mood debuff, that I can very easily avoid without much problem. So I might as well do so. So the reason these places are getting abnormally hot compared to ambient is that, the chem fuel generators produce heat. Oh, he is in a tantrum, and as long as he's not breaking anything important, I could let him tantrum all he wants. Smacking walls around is fine. Smacking prisoners around, however, is not. I could end his tantrum physically, but I'd rather have him get the catharsis. He is almost over his psychic addiction, which means we'll be able to reintroduce him to the community without much issue. Actually, I can probably unimprison him the moment he gets over his catharsis. Or the moment, rather, he gets his catharsis, I should say. And I have a small herd of rare thrumbo. Not that small. Coming on into the base. That's exciting. I always love when I'm visited by thrumbo. I don't know what I did to deserve such a wonderful gift, but I'll take it. Alright, so now the barracks is nice and cool. I do realize I don't have AC in the hospital, but it's not warm enough to warrant it just yet, so I'm not gonna stress about that. He's mostly been bashing beds and whatnot. Menmi and Lanka, you're all useless. Yeah, he hasn't really been targeting anything specifically. And most of the beds in there aren't really particularly high quality, so if he was to break one of them, it's not that big of a deal. Not that I want that to happen, but if it was to happen, it wouldn't be the end of the world. And his catharsis will help out with his mood. Which is a win-win for me. Wolf is no longer picking on him food, that's nice. I think what I'm going to do is, so that we don't make many trips, I'm going to have Cece and Sergio locked up in there. While everyone else goes about their business. I think, ideally, actually, let's get Wolf to piss off these animals here. So what I'm going to do is, let's go to numbers and do this in numbers. Set everyone to safe haven. And then for animals, set them all to safe haven. Because Wolf is going to be pissing off Thrumbo, and I don't want anyone to get melted as a result. What I will do is send, once I piss them off, send people to the kill box to try to get as much of my manual shooting done as possible. Alright, I've definitely pissed them off. Wolf will head here. Deef. This is a very good way to level up shooting on... Oh, no, Trek is here. There's a few. CC and Sergio are over here. They shouldn't be idle. Oh, they're... Okay, hold on. Restrict. Sergio and CC are unrestricted, so they can work in here. Lanka, Eagle, Chris, Dano. Cole doesn't have a weapon because he was crazy for a bit. So let's give him a good bolt action. Let's actually conscript him, give him a good bolt action, and then have him head over here. Poopy. And that's about it. So I'd like to keep these off if I could. Save the steel. Looks like I didn't grab one of them, but that's okay. I can always grab her soon. As you can see, the chain shotgun has a very limited range. Cole has a shield belt. gonna have to send him back and drop that. And we'll get set up with a different layer of defenses here. So they're going to definitely trigger some of these traps, which is less than ideal. So there's just this one Thrumbo left. Death in 9 hours. Going to get shot to, like crazy. Stump that shield belt out. And in pain shock. Looking at the health. Got some eye injuries. It's not something I'm going to rescue, so we'll just force attack. If it had no permanent injuries, I'd consider keeping it, but with permanent injuries, the value is not quite there. And of course, a lot of shooting leveling up here. Wolf is going to go pop the other one. Why Wolf? Because he's accurate at long distance, and he can run real fast because of his bionic leg. I don't think he can outrun a... Alright, Lenka, you're unrecruited. Outrun a Thrumbo. But with a head start, he can get to cover in time. Looking at the distance and speed, 1.5... Yeah, so this is about 0.4 cells faster. The meleers here are probably very sad that they're not getting any of this beautiful action, but hey. Can't keep everyone happy. Permanent brain injury. Again, not something we're going to turn into a pet. And our drug stockpile got struck by fire. It is raining, so I have that going for me. None of these people seem to want to firefight, which is interesting. Well, no issues. It was raining after all, so I've dodged that bullet. Let's start drying this up here. And we want to dry this up and dry that up, and then eventually down here as well. Now we overpushed a lot of our pawns, especially CC and Sergio, in a very bad way. Let's lift our restrictions. Let's do that in the numbers tab. Now that I can remember to do it. Have them come on back. Now that the roofs are removed, I can go ahead and delete all the walls, and then eventually we'll strip the floors as well. If you want a food binge on NPM, that is fine. And she's done. She's like, ah, NPM, gross. I'm done. All right, Wolf, you are plenty happy. Some catharsis from your food binge, I guess. Alright, Miss Vex. Once you're done with that, move the smelter. Now, I built these pods so that we could launch... let's launch Wolf and Jirit to do a little bit of a trade trip. Why not? Make them good friends. Some of the tainted stuff that isn't particularly useful to me, I'm going to trade for. Or trade away, rather, I should say. Poor flak pants. Really, any of the poorer armor. Or damaged armor, for that matter. Or tainted stuff. I know I'm going to burn some of the tainted stuff, but I'm sure I'm going to find more tainted stuff to burn. That shouldn't be that much of an issue. The LMGs and heavy SMGs, I'm also going to trade away. Poor assault rifles. I figure anything that's like lower quality, I can go ahead and get rid of. The uranium mace I want to melt down. The thrumbo horns will be nice. I do have to get rid of the thrumbos that I've killed, butcher them up. But that will be for a different trip. This starting trip is just for the initial trade, and that's about all the mass that we can manage. I'll add some silver in there, and accept. They'll be immobilized, but that's fine. We're going to be landing on them. Alright, Nara's resistance broke. Wildman can be released. Sergio is going to repair some of this stuff in here. And then work on that cooler. Alright, so Wildman just got added back. Let's see, what is he? He is a hunter, I guess. And that's for the purpose of numbers. So I can very quickly figure out what he should be doing, what he's doing, etc. Let's see, he was our handler, is no more. He's going to be our hauler. Just somewhat of a dedicated hauler. Even though he has a bum leg. Oh well. Alright, so Jirit is in there. Oh god. Alright, I'll do it through the numbers tab. Did Jirit load up? I think he did. Contains Wolf, contains Jirit. Okay, good. Let's launch the group, and we're gonna visit them for trade. Alright, they're immobilized, but that's fine. We were gonna trade anyway. Let's queue up to sell everything that we want to sell, and then we'll take a look at what they have to buy. I do see that the caravan weight is lowering, which is good. Now I have to aim to buy really expensive stuff in order to make this all worth it. So, hearts. Psychic Soothe Pulsar would be nice. Medicine, I'm thinking about. I think we're going to need some backup for carrying. That's fine. Gold. Oh, no, we could buy a bunch of gold. That will definitely work. Let's see if there's any uranium, though. Mega screen TV? Yeah, let's do that. That actually sounds good. That makes this trip worth it, for sure. Mega Screen TV is just a more efficient entertainment source than the flat screen. And I think I'm good on components. So this trade is done. Let's call it done. Good job, guys. Oh, they didn't want to buy the tainted stuff. That pirate people might be interested in that, but that's fine. We can always queue that up to burn here in the tainted clothing storage. Alright, so now these guys have a little bit of AC. Did we remove the roof? Probably not. Constructed roof. Okay, yep, that's as I thought. CC, go remove the roof. So now it doesn't become superheated. And that is now temperature controlled. The next project will be... Oh, Trek, you're already over here. That's cute. You ran all the way here. Why are we building roofs there? No, remove them. Don't add roofs. Okay, fine. If you don't want to do the work, you can turn around. These guys are hungry, but they're coming back pretty soon. Bandit Camp quest for Persona Core. Tempting, but I don't really need the core just yet. So that's all it is, just somewhat slightly tempting. Endelos. Let's do advanced components here. What do we have? Do until 10? With anyone under 16. Also, the Velic zone can be removed. So we'll set Velic to safe haven because we just took him off of crafting. So he won't be smelting or stone cutting. And then manage areas, get rid of Velic. Wildman, I don't believe that is your bed. Like, not even a little bit. And in fact, the bed that he had in here, we can go ahead and pull in. Oh, we wouldn't even need to. We'll just uninstall it. Now, the next art project that Jarrett finishes, which he's a mere moments from finishing, will go into the barracks to raise the quality of the barracks a little bit. Looks like we're starting to store meat up there. So what I'm going to do is put meat down here, because I don't want them storing it up there, and put this as a low priority stockpile. That will help. This shelf, I don't even know what we're going to use it for anymore. It had a purpose, but not anymore. Inspired recruitment CC. That's very cool. It looks like it's being used on Luna. I guess it's fine. Ideally, I would want to probably try to recruit the hardest person, but any recruition is probably useful here. Sergio, let's reorder the beds. Alright, so Luna joined. Let's go and set Luna up with a nickname, so she will be the artist, I guess, is her most prevalent skill. So here we will make large sculptures. I'm going to set 2 of them up, and the reason being is we can have 2 going simultaneous. So let's change your work priorities. She's also a pretty good warden, so I'm going to have her on wardening. Her social was not insignificantly low. And take them off research. And then for restrictions, let's give her the rec restrictions that we give everyone else. And for assignments, for Luna, no lavish, rec drugs, because she doesn't have a drug problem. And we're good to go. Then also, we're going to want to move her bed over. Sergio can do that. Jarrett is starting to starve out there. And another new recruit. Holy moly. Okay, Nara just joined. She is a bloodlust, so that's what we're going to name her. Because she's bloodlust, I'm going to go into the policies here. So here is Nara. We'll set her to rec drugs and set her to combat. And she's going to get set to combat because there is no debuff. There is no penalty for wearing dead man stuff. So I'll kit her up with dead man stuff. I'm also going to need to kit her up with a better mace than this poor uranium one. She's a meleeer. So she's a transhumanist, fast learner, meleeer. She's also, again, a very good warden. So I'm going to set her up to warden as well. Take Cole off of it because he's not particularly good. And then when she's not wardening, construction. And then hauling and cleaning. Additionally, let's take that bed out. And we will want a dresser here. So the prison is slowly emptying out, which is great. Assign her no meds for now. Given Wolf's amazing foraging ability, I'm surprised they didn't forage for food here. I guess I should have sent them with some more food, but I figured he would forage enough. Clearly, I was wrong. 0 Day is going to get recruited soon, too. Oh, here we go. Horn just joined. Wow. We're growing pretty quick. So, Horn, let's see. Where are you? Here you are. You are... I'm just going to name you the Angry Teen. She's probably just going to become a cleaner. Because she has a lot of little passions, but she's not particularly good at any of them. So we're going to make her a cleaner for now. And again, let's move the bed over. Give a little bit of a nice end table. And check out her restrictions. Oh, I can't do it like that. I was hoping to just... Angry Teen will be at the top. Okay, so give her no lavish. Rec drugs. I know, she's underage, but it's not like I'm really producing a whole lot of drugs right now. So it's kind of a moot point. You could... Oh yeah, she can construct. That's right. It'll be useful to have another constructor. Oh, and Penguin's resistant broke. As you can see, this is going pretty quick, which is great. Oh, we're running low on steel. That is a good thing to know. Let's go ahead and mine some out. There's some down there. There was some in the mountain up here. Not much. It is hard to find steel in this driving rain, isn't it? One of the things I'm going to do is start removing all the unnecessary roof. Alright, there's a lot of steel down here. Not a lot, but enough. Enough to fill our coffers. Some here. Joy. Alright, the caravan returns. Jarrett will be eating in a moment. Permanent injuries? None. It's good. Ooh, some masterwork clothing. It's sad to watch the bear haul bear parts. At least it is for me. And another recruition. Penguin. Well done, Mr. Penguin. This episode is going quite smoothly. I haven't even had any attacks. So he is a... I'm going to call him a brawler even though he's not, because he's basically a brawler. And then go into numbers. Alphabetized. There he is. No, there he is. Brawler. Give him lavish. Give him rec drugs. Change some restrictions here. I hadn't done this for the other people. So we'll fix that as well. Okay, that all looks good. And that is yet another bed that's going to need to be moved. Prison is emptying out. Emptying out real fast. In fact, I think if I don't even need to make that. I'm curious if these... I'm going to test out a theory here. See if this works like the way I think it might. No, it needs to be adjacent. Okay. It's not like a vitals monitor. That is good to know. I could fit more than 2, but just for aesthetics and all that, I won't. We'll just make this look like a military barracks. A very extraordinarily flammable military barracks, but one nonetheless. Miss Horn, the angry teen, will be moving that stuff. Wow, this is really getting to be small here. Glad we have an excess of food, because it's going to start to get difficult to feed everyone, I think. Okay, so we have a lot of open beds. If Jarrett's back, we will assign him back to the bed that he belongs. Now for all of these unbed people, I'm going to go ahead and just assign them. So there's no bed theft or anything like that. I also want to know if I'm short any beds. No, I think I have 2 spare from quick first glance. Our lack of steel is really showing in our inability to even put AC up. So hopefully we get some mining going. So for all the people that can mine, I'm going to set that as a really high priority and deprioritize their other tasks. So Vex, Dano, and Sergio will go full bore mining. Jared actually too. Let's do that over his art and get some more metals. And alas, I'm just about out of time. So this episode was obviously pretty awesome in the way that we recruited about half of our prisoners or so. If you have any feedback for me, drop me a line. I appreciate all the community support here, the votes, the picking, the comments, everything. If you want to discuss anything about this episode, hop on Discord. And if you haven't already, maybe think about liking and subscribing. Thank you all for watching very much, and I hope you tune in next time. Adios.